Okay, private raw vlog that may or may not go public to the YouTube channel. Let's be honest, it's probably not going to go public to the YouTube channel. But I'm going to film it with the possibility that it will. Hey, Finny. Hi, cutie. Hi, my little boy. Yeah. Okay. You look like you're going to jump, so I'm going to put you down. Okay. Come on, Papa. Oh, maybe you ride with Daddy for a little while we do this vlog. Oh, oh, come on, sit up there. Good boy. Okay. Okay. So I have this constant predicament where I'm searching for the perfect everyday camera for myself, and I just can't find it. I don't know. I've been looking for a minute, and I know that it's not necessarily, it's not about the camera that you're using. It's about actually doing it and just getting out and filming the stuff. But I want to have one that's ideal for those situations. And it's mainly between two. It's between two main cameras for me. It is between the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and the DJI Osmo Action 5. Now, currently I'm filming on the Osmo Action 5, and as of recently, I decided that one's going to be my daily driver. And this was after working with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 and filming so many videos on them, and they all turned out amazing. I love the way that they looked. But my main gripe, and I remember this, I had this when I first got the Osmo Pocket 3, because there's that same mentality, but in my head I was like, just go for it. It looks amazing, and it crosses 99% of all the other boxes, except for the fact that it is not durable. It's not durable, and it's something I have to think to use, and that has always been a factor. Yes, Papa, I know. That has always been a factor for me. I started YouTube with a GoPro. And what I loved about the GoPro was just how simple it was. It didn't matter what I was doing or where I was going. There was two or three main factors about it that always just nailed it for me. The first one was that it is super easy to pick up and shoot. I don't have to worry about setting anything up or adjusting anything. It literally is just what you have in your hand, and then boom, I press it, I'm recording. And that kind of leads me into my second one, which was the way that the GoPro or an action camera for a wider kind of genre, so to speak, the way that the action camera captures footage, the way that you can record and actually make videos with it. The fact that it has such a wide field of view and it keeps everything in focused, that is again, a huge plus for me, because you don't have to worry about showing anything off, or about making sure you're in frame or anything. And this is before action cameras that had a front-facing screen. This was the GoPro 9 or something, 8 or something like that. It was old. But that was the whole point, is I could easily I knew if it was just generally pointing in my direction, I didn't have to worry about getting the shot. I'm just going to switch up my shot right now, so to speak. Let's put it up here. Why not? I think there's some gunk up on that microwave, but it's an action camera, so who cares? But yeah, I didn't have to worry about necessarily getting the shot. I could just do it. And then the third one is the form factor of the camera and how much flexibility that brings full circle to working and shooting with an action camera. The form factor is small and compact and tiny, which means I can throw it in a bag, I can throw it in my pocket, I can film with it inconspicuously, and I'm not drawing extra attention to myself that I probably don't want in the first place. It's literally just a simple grab and go, record. You don't have to worry about it getting damaged or whatever. All around type tool. The only gripe that I had with the action camera was, I would say 1/10 the quality of the footage, and then the other 9/10 was more so the emphasis on the low light quality of the footage. That for me was one of the most frustrating hurdles, because I'm a photographer and I'm a photographer and a videographer. What the hell? Oh, that's cool. It did like a little recording thing. All right, I can dig it. I'm a photographer and a videographer, so I really like having decent quality footage, you know? For the purpose of my vlogs and everything, it doesn't have to be Spielberg quality. That would be nice, but it doesn't have to be like movie level quality. It can just be good enough footage, or like pretty good enough footage. We'll go with pretty good enough. But with my old GoPro, my main issue was that the second that I went into, honestly, any semi low light environment, my footage would just fall apart immediately, and it looked like trash, like complete trash. Now, fast forward to current day, that's been fixed a little bit on this camera right here. This is the DJI Osmo Action 5. I think I mentioned that earlier. And on a lot of other action cameras, the low light performance has improved quite a bit, tremendously. So that's improved, definitely. But then, now I'm back in, another little debate, because the Osmo Pocket 3, the footage on that, just how crisp and clear it looks, how much quality you're getting in such a small, compact form factor is just like, it's just unmatched, like it just looks so good for a vlogging camera. So I'm just stuck in the middle of that. It's tough because, like, quality wise, I prefer the Pocket 3, obviously. I don't mind the Osmo Action 5 because it is very close, but I prefer the Pocket 3. And anytime I show anyone, like, the stuff, a couple of them notice the small differences. Most people prefer the Pocket 3 footage. But, it's everything leans quality-wise towards the Pocket 3. But then functionality-wise, ease of use-wise, and even, like, practicality-wise, like which one is more practical and a little bit easier. Finn, get out of there. Come here. Finn, out. Finn. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at right now. Get out of there. Yep, get out of there. You don't need to be back there. Okay, he's not going back. Yeah, which one's easier to use and which one is, in my opinion, more intuitive? It's the action camera, I will give the Pocket 3 that it has the gimbal. The gimbal is a very, very useful tool because that's a huge factor in what allows you to get that awesome looking low light footage. But I will also say, from personal use, the gimbal is also something that makes you have to think about how you're filming. It's a hindrance to just being able to immerse yourself in creating your video, simply because you don't want to damage that gimbal. Like, I've dropped it before and thankfully it's been okay. But when I have to turn the camera off and put it in my pocket, or if I'm trying to move through a crowd even or something like that, I notice myself being cognizant of my spacing with the camera and taking the extra time to, like, fold it down or something, or get it out and make sure it's up and ready, which, sometimes that couple extra moments can be the difference between getting the shot or not getting the shot. So yeah, it's stuff like that. Whereas the Osmo Action 5, it has fast charging. It has replaceable batteries. So the second one dies, you don't have to wait for it to charge up again or plug in an extra charging handle. You can literally just swap the battery out and then just keep pushing. Let's see what else we got. Oh, waterproof, shockproof, all that stuff. So, like, I'm not worried about filming with the camera literally anywhere. I know it's gonna survive. I know it'll be fine. The other thing I was gonna say, kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, because I was team Pocket 3. I had convinced myself. I'd set up the settings and I was like, yo, like, I can use this thing as an action cam, meaning, like, I can just use it with the same amount of ease and functionality that I would an action cam. So I'd set up my settings and I was like team Pocket 3. And then I was out vlogging in Brazil and all my Brazil vlogs look great. But then one day we went on a little boat tour excursion, and mind you, I take full responsibility for this because I shouldn't have been out in an environment that's not Pocket 3 friendly with the Pocket 3. I totally get that, and I take full responsibility. It is what it is. But I was out on this boat, and I've been on many a boat tour before, and 99% of the time, unless you want to get into the water, or unless the weather is just like, you know, it decides to rain or something like that, you're not gonna get wet. So I didn't expect my Pocket 3 to get wet. But of course, the one day I brought out a piece of equipment that's susceptible to the elements, it got wet, and not just wet, it got like soaked. The boat hit a huge wave, and we almost got washed off the front of the boat. Like, that's how messed up this thing got. So it was done. To the Pocket 3's credit, it did come back to life, and it did try and fight its way back from the grave. But I just think it was too big of a splash for it to come back from. So yeah, had I not had my GoPro, I didn't have an Action 5 at the time, but had I not have my GoPro packed with me as a backup cam, then the rest of the Brazil trip would have been completely just, you know, not filmed or not documented, not anything. And that for me was like a really big fear confirmed, that I obviously would not have had to worry about had I just been filming with an action camera. So there's like a lesson there, because I'm not trying to say like, oh, you know, this is why the action camera is something that I want to lean towards. Again, I take responsibility. I shouldn't have been out there with the Pocket 3. I should have been smart and swapped to my action camera, or just not brought out the Pocket 3 in the first place. But at the same time, it's stuff like that where it's like, I wouldn't have even had to worry about that. And I could have obviously even included that in the video if I wanted to, had I been filming with an action cam. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. I'm at like 12 minutes right now and kind of out of breath, because when I get on this subject, I get worked up and I just start talking and going and going and going. But I think I'm going to wrap this up by saying I'm going to try and lean back towards Team Action 5 or Team Action Cam. I think action cams have got to a good enough spot at this point where they can be used as an everyday driver and make good quality content, not just like okay quality content. I like using my action cam for pictures. I like using my action cam for reels and for videos and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and lean into that more and prove my point, or prove at least my temporary point of trying to lean Team Action Cam as an everyday driver. Again, I do love the Pocket 3 and it's a tough decision. I'll probably change my mind tomorrow, I'll be honest. But yeah, the Pocket 3 for me is, as an everyday piece of equipment, is like right there with the Action Cam. But if I had to pick one that I could just 100% like pick up and go, not worry about it, no questions asked, always going to win, at this stage in the game, I feel like I would pick the action camera. Even though the Pocket 3 has better quality footage, and in my opinion, just looks so much better. Like it looks amazing when it comes to vlog footage, but I would go action camera. So yeah, that's my little 13-minute rant. Let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments. So that's pretty much it.